Welcome to the Chill and Heal Show. I'm your host, Chrissy Cantor, Alderman in Ward 6, and your chill girl up at Chill Spa. And we are here to fuel your mind, body, and soul with goodness. We're going to open up, connect, be real, be raw, overcome, let go, and just share and be positive. Even on a rainy day, we're going to bring in the sunshine, and super excited. And it's been a while since my good friend Steve Richard has been on my show. Steve Richard, longtime school friend. My gosh, how many years? Like 30.
We'd have to say how old we are.
I know. All right.
Going back to Hillside Junior High.
Hillside Junior High, when you were breakdancing.
Oh, let's not bring that up.
It's all good. It's all good.
Parachute pants, yes.
Yes. So, Steve, home by guys, and
Yes.
you know, I think a lot of people know who you are, but for those that don't know you, can you share a little bit about you? And I love his wife, Michelle, and we've been on this journey all together, getting back to our roots, and that's really what this show is about getting back to our roots, our hometown values, and sometimes we just have to breathe to get through things, and the past 4 years have been really, really challenging.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
Everyone,
and it doesn't matter, we all have circumstances, we all have things going on, and we really wanted to bring this show to light to get back to our hometown values. We lost a really good friend of ours, Sonny Donnelly.
Yeah.
He was a ray of sunshine.
Salt of the earth. Wonderful guy.
So I get chills as we're talking about this. Really, every single person that I connected with at his wake at Bouffard was like, he was truly the nicest guy, right down to the core, and he brought so much joy. I wore my jacket. Sonny always brought the sunshine, always brought the joy. I would see him at the Palace Theater volunteering. Really, we need to step into the light a little bit more and get out of the darkness. And it was really, really sad to lose such a great man. Bob and Sue and his whole family. It's like heartbreaking. And how do we overcome this? You lose a father, you lose a mother. It's like, but how do we step forward? And we just want this show to honor Sonny and his ray of sunshine and all the joy he brought to Manchester, and community values, and just being a good guy.
I mean, I think about Sonny, and I think about smiling Sonny, right? This man was smiling all the time.
Yes.
You ever get around people where they just make your day a little brighter?
Yes.
Right? And, when somebody smiles at you, you can't help but smile back. Unless you're having a really bad day, then you want to throw an old donut at them. But typically, Sonny was one of these guys. He was just happy all the time.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him in many years, but I've known him for a long, long time. I was just talking to Peter White out in the studio outside that we've known Sonny a long time. He's just a wonderful human being, and he brought a joy to people's lives, and he will be greatly missed by his friends and family.
Yeah. Truly.
And I think the reality is, Chrissy, like we don't have tomorrow. Tomorrow's not guaranteed for anybody.
Yeah, it's true.
We have today. And so I'm grateful for having known Sonny. I know others have known him much, much better than I did.
Yeah.
But truly a tremendous person.
Tremendous. And to know Sonny was to love Sonny and to bring more joy to everyone's lives. And truly, the gift of a smile is priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And it's free.
Yeah,
it's free.
That's right. Yeah.
He was sharing his love and his joy with his family, everyone he came in contact with. And we need a lot more Sonnys in the world.
Yes.
And we need to be more Sonny-like.
Yeah.
And we're just going to honor Sonny and his family, and I hope we can all heal It's hard. You know, I first met Sonny when I was in 5th grade at Weston School. He was in my class. And then we saw each other in junior high, you know, and through high school. And then I have good friends with his family and Bob and Sue. And, you know, it's just, it's a lot. But we've got to push through.
Yeah.
Remember the good times and cherish every moment and live today to our fullest. And sometimes it's a lot, you know.
And
How do we get through these hard times? You know, we've all had these struggles, especially through these COVID crazy years, you know, of getting back to our roots. So, of course, I'm going to ask you say a little prayer afterwards, you know, as we close our show. But how do we get there? How do we overcome this? We have to grieve. We have to push through things. We have to, you know, there are things, some people, you know, in life, bad things happen.
Yeah.
And how do we get through them? And how do we not, you know, get stuck?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that I think that's like, if we can share some inspiring thoughts and what's worked for us, you know, sometimes we have to bury the hatchet. And, you know, I had to do that the other day with someone that I had to deal with. And, but it's not about forgetting. It's not about forgetting. It's how we overcome things.
Yeah.
But then we do have to hold some people accountable for things that they've done wrong in life. You know, a lot has happened in the world. And forgiveness is really, really important, you know, in everything. And I think that, you know, how do we, I think, I turn up the radio.
Yeah.
I turn up my worship music. Though I'm going to share some things that work for me.
Yeah.
I blast the good tunes. I bust a move. I bust a move. We're talking about moves, okay? We are on the move, for goodness. And Sonny brought a lot of people together the other night. Eddie Content, he was going to be on the show, and he's going to be on another time. Kenny Clark.
I know. I saw the picture on Facebook. I was Kenny Clark, Steve Bicknell,
Yes.
Chris Morgan. I think Chucky Roberts was not in the picture. Maybe there was one or two more. I'm trying to remember. I think those are the key people. I was like, I missed
Boo
all
Baker.
these. Oh yeah, Boo Baker. How could you forget
Baker.
Boo?
Yeah.
Boo. Yeah. You know, when you bring that up, Christy, I think, you know, I think the first thing with grieving is this, as my wife likes to say all the time, like, you got to feel your feel, right? And so being real about how you're feeling and allowing yourself to process that. Yeah. And sometimes it's a shorter grieving process. Sometimes it's a longer grieving process. It really depends on, it's kind of like, you know, we can see if somebody has a broken arm or a bruise on their arm, right?
Yeah.
But we can't always see, or we can't see the
broken
bruises
hearts.
on the heart, right? And so, you know, and so I think the first thing is, you know, feeling your feel, allowing yourself to process how you're feeling. I know for a lot of people, journaling is a great way to process. So writing out how you're feeling, maybe there's writing out, you know, what you want to say to the person, and you know, allowing, you know, whether it's the good times or the bad times or whatever that is, but you know, working through that and allowing. And sometimes bruises are deeper and they take longer to heal, and it's okay. I think, like, it's okay. Don't just ignore it and put it in a box and go hit the bottle. Like, that's not a solution.
Yeah, it's
right?
not a solution.
Numbing yourself from the hurt is never the right solution. And so when you bottle it in and you turn to a substance, that's never going to help you. It's only going to make things worse. So, you know, I'm a big fan of processing, whether that's with a friend, whether that's going to see a therapist, a counselor, or whether that's just journaling and writing out, getting it out of your heart, getting it out of your head and onto paper. And if you got to fill a whole journal over the course of a couple of months, then do that. Right? But as you work through that, you begin to get what's bottled up in here and be able to get it out. And I think step 2 is absolutely forgiveness, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta, you know, at some point, like, we all get hurt in life, right? And life has man, life has bumps. Sometimes the road is nice and smooth and the sun
Yes.
is shining. And there's other times like it's bumpy. And there's other times there's some potholes and
Yeah.
you might even hit a tree. I mean, that's just the reality. That's just like welcome to life, right?
Bam!
Good, bad, or indifferent, like we all experience these things.
Yep.
And so we all have, people that have hurt us, that have, things that have not gone our way,
Yeah.
injustices that might have been done. And so I think, getting to a point where you can forgive.
Yeah.
Forgiving is not condoning what the other person did.
That's key.
And I think, for people that may not understand this, like it's really important to understand forgiveness is not condoning. What forgiveness does is when you hold on to unforgiveness in your heart, it actually bottles you up. Unforgiveness actually chains you. It keeps you in bondage in your heart because the person that you're upset with or whatever, they're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Let's just process this for a minute.
Especially the narcissists out there.
Yeah,
They're certainly
and there are
not thinking.
plenty, and social media has only accelerated narcissism.
Totally.
It's about me. No, it's not about you. We love you, but it's not about you. And so I think, for those that may be listening, like forgiveness is a huge step in unlocking all that uck and ick and the hurt and the wounds and getting it out of your heart and releasing it. And I would say releasing it to God, if you're a believer in God, like releasing it to God, right? And so when you forgive, you're not condoning. If you had an injustice done to you, you're not condoning that injustice. You're simply releasing them out of your heart and forgiving them. And the good book says, if you forgive others, your Heavenly Father will forgive you. And so that's a huge step. You don't have to broadcast it to the world.
Yeah.
It's a heart decision. It's a thing that you do in your own heart. So I think that's
For yourself.
It's for yourself.
It's totally.
It's freeing yourself.
Yes, totally freeing yourself, and it's healing yourself. And I have to plug one of the things that made a huge impact in my life is when you had your 7 steps to personal freedom, and it was unbelievable. And I need to share this, and I'll share this on the link because when you broke that down, 7 steps to personal freedom, that sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And then you can't unsee things.
Yeah.
And then the healing process begins, but it's about taking action.
Yes.
And so 7 steps to personal freedom. Do you still have your website where you... I'm going to share it no matter what.
We'll have
It's
to-
really
we'll have to
something
find it.
personal for me that has helped me, and I share it with people because we don't even realize how stuck we can feel, or we don't feel like there's hope, or we do things better, but then what is that piece that we're not understanding?
Yeah.
But the way you break it down for 7 steps to personal freedom is life-changing.
Well, I won't go into all of that right now, but what I will say is a lot of times we get ourselves stuck in life, and sometimes we cause our own issues, right, by things that we say.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say, I'll never, what happens often is you get really hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody you get a real stinger, and then you say, I'll never fill in the blank. I will never let a guy get that close to me again. I will never, fill in the blank, whatever it is. We've all been there, right?
Totally.
We've all
I
had
try not
these
to say never.
experiences. Yeah, exactly. And so we make these vows. We
Yeah.
don't realize that's what we're doing, but we're making these vows.
These big blocks.
We're making these big,
walls.
we put up these big walls,
We
right?
need some walls, but not these walls.
And so, and why do we do that? We do that for self-preservation, right? We do that because we're hurting, and we don't want to hurt again, right? I mean, it's just
True.
real talk with Chrissy and Steve this morning.
It's just real.
And so, one of the things I've learned over the years, just following God, and I certainly don't have it all. I don't know it all. but what I know I share. And so it's like sometimes we have to unlock the things that we've done to lock ourselves up, right? And so, the good book says, life and death is in the power of the tongue. What does that mean? The words that we speak, they have power, right? I'll never, or I'll always, or I'll, we make these declarations, and which I'm famous for, my wife will tell you. And so I have to be mindful, right? But it begins to move us in a direction. And when you take some knocks in life, you get some stingers in life, right? To use a sports analogy, you get a stinger and you're like, I don't want to get stung again. What happens? Well, you start boxing yourself in.
Yeah.
And so then what does that do? That prevents you from getting into meaningful, deeper relationships, whether it's a friend or romantic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It causes, or with your kids, it causes these blockages, these walls. You're like, why don't I ever feel connected to this person? Well, this person's been, hit hard, and they've put these walls up. And so, these steps that I share, one of them is forgiveness and releasing, right? Just releasing these things. Another one is saying, is kind of like undoing the vows that you made, right? And recognizing you're really hurting and asking God to heal you, right? It's a simple prayer like, God, will you heal my heart? Jesus said in Luke 4:18, right? He came to heal the brokenhearted.
Yeah.
So it's like when we talk about getting back to core values,
Yes.
right? I think that's what we're talking about this morning, is
100%.
because no one has tomorrow promised to them. It's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed for anybody, you and I, or anyone listening. So we have today. We have right now.
Right now.
And so what are the things that actually matter in life? You can't take all your stuff with you.
So true.
You can't take all your followers in social media, and I'm not on there very much, but I know a lot of people are. And it's like, I got so many likes. I'm like, oh my God, who cares? I don't care. There was a time I cared,
Yeah.
But
we think some things are important, but they're really not that important.
Yeah.
And really, it's about connecting.
Yes.
And that's, to me, my show is about connecting.
Yes.
And that's where I was driven to connect with more people when we're in our insane lockdowns, and the importance of sharing and talking and overcoming, understanding and seeing what's been censored, So we need to uncensor things and get down to our values, and it's good conversation.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing is the other night, and we really should do just like it was great the other night, just talking about our hometown values with Kenny Clark and Boo Baker and Eddie Content and simpler times.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days, and we need to bring those good old days back. And how do we do that? How do we do that? We need, and agree to disagree.
Yeah. But still be loving and respectful in the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can hug it out.
Yeah.
Literally, we can hug it out.
Yeah, look, the reality is you're not going to agree 100% with anybody, right?
Right.
So it's like, my wife and I, we've got a great marriage, but, we don't see everything the same. And so, I'm not going to tear her down. I'm not going to demean her. Why would I do that, right? And so if in my own marriage, we can disagree yet have a really strong relationship, well, that could be true of anybody.
So true.
And so, but a lot of times we have to be honest with ourselves. I read this great quote, Chrissy. I forget who said it. Reality is, once you say something 3 times yourself, you don't have to quote the original author. No, that's a joke. So the quote goes something along the lines of, to the degree that you can be honest with yourself about the ugly parts of yourself is to the degree that you can change. Now, that's a paraphrase, but that's essentially what the quote said. And I thought about that, and the reality is, Chrissy, who wants to look at the ugly part of themselves?
Does anyone?
Nobody does. It's like, hey, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm awesome. Look at this cool thing
cover it
behind
up.
me. On the inside, you're like, my life sucks right now. It's like, sorry, I don't know if I can talk that plainly, but
Oh, yes.
I am. So, the reality is, being honest with yourself can be a little scary,
Yeah.
can be a little frightening. And I think this is where, we're only human. There is a God,
There is.
His name is Jesus. And so I think there are moments in time when, this is one of these moments, right, with Sonny's passing. I mean, Sonny's our age. Sonny's young. And so,
Very young.
and we've lost other people over the years, right? In our class of '88
Yeah.
from Central. And so these moments, I think, cause for us to be very reflective in what is actually important in life. And you can't take, I think back, I'm like, there was a time like popularity is so important, or, you get a little older, we call it fame. Or really, it's still like, it's narcissism at the end of the day. It's me, or money, or women, or men, or,
the greed.
Or the greed,
Yes,
right.
of anything that's not.
And the reality is we can't take any of these things with us. And there's coming a day where we cross over, we pass over, and we're going to meet our Maker. And what's it? When you look back, it's like, what did my life stand for? What impact did I have in my family, my friends, my community? What did I give back? Yeah, my life's not perfect. I'm not perfect. There's plenty of things wrong with me, things I'm working on.
I'm not perfect. I always say I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, it's like we're all in process. That's the reality. But we all have some good.
Yeah.
Everybody's got good in different ways. And so are you bringing that good? Are you sowing? Are you inputting that good into family, friends, community? Are you giving back? Are you helping people? Are you stopping and helping? The old lady crossed the crosswalk. I mean, it sounds so silly, but it's that mindset of there is good in me. My life's not perfect. There is good in me, and I'm going to start to give the good that I have to people around me. I mean, these are things I think about anyway, Chris.
Hey, to me, it's about sharing the goodness and being, standing up and doing what's right.
Yeah.
Being kind.
Yes.
Sometimes when we're in the fight of good versus evil, we can get unkind because we're frustrated. So I think the most important thing is going, all right, how are we supposed to be sharing this? How are we supposed to be fighting?
Yeah.
Through love, transparency, accountability.
And I think about
breathing. We need to chill. I do need to bring up. Okay, I have to bring up a couple things.
Oh boy.
All right, cancer certainly sucks. We all know that. We've all been affected, and we have Chill Spa and Fresh Chef. We are doing a special day for survivors. Elliott Hospital.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful, and it's packed, but I'm sure we're going to do another one. And I just had to, so there is hope,
Yes.
even through the hard times.
Yes.
And it's just working with our communities, and, sometimes we don't need to talk about it, about the hard times. We just need to jump into the joy. And that's what we are going to be doing at Chill Spa with Elliott Hospital next week. And I just wanted to do a shout out to working with Elliott Hospital and finding, with all the medical science and then holistic approaches to battling these diseases through kindness.
Yes.
And love, and working with Kristen and Anne Marie from Elliott. So even in the worst of times, there is joy, and there is hope, and I just wanted to share that, and about the movement, because Steve's got some moves, okay? Kenny Clark had some moves back in the day. And so
Kenny probably still has way better moves than I
so
have.
I
He
forgot
always
to
did.
ask him the other day.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
All right, I forgot to ask him, what are your moves? But I guess my thing is, some of the good things, turning up the music and bust-a-moving. And it's not about the dance move, because it's not about perfect dance moves. It's about the movement. and so I'm going to share it. Is, you know, I've been on this journey of journey dancing, which I love, but there's something a little bit bigger where it's called the chill flow. And the chill flow is about celebrating, healing,
you're a branding expert. That's
inspiring, living, and loving. And that is what we have to do, is we have to celebrate each day. We have to heal, and we can heal. Jesus is the ultimate healer. I will say another unbelievable thing that I have that helps heal people is fascia blasting, which is unbelievable. And I've been trained by Ashley Black and Stephen Black at fascia blasting. And I know we only have a few minutes, but we are doing that at Chill Spa. Fascia blasting is, God gave Ashley this gift of knowledge to make these tools to help.
It's beautiful.
It's ultimate skin rejuvenation, healing. Our bodies can heal themselves.
Yes.
When we eat the right foods, we work on our fascia, and we'll talk about that. It's another show. But I do want, you know, I'm going to ask Kenny, Steve, Michelle, everyone, Central people. We need to do something with the chill flow, because we've got to celebrate life. We've got to heal. We've got to inspire. We got to live, and we got to love. And a shout out to my friend Chris Morgan, who's in Ward 1.
Go,
you know,
Chris.
You know, when we don't realize God, this is God driven. Everything to me, it's like when we take all those leaps of faith, and we've got to get back to our roots. Our good times at Hillside, our good times at Central, you know, and what were those? It's about community. And, you know, I talked about it with Eddie and Ken and Steve, you know, just good times. We all loved each other.
Yeah.
It didn't matter the color of our skin. It didn't matter if we were, you know, living at the middle of section of Manchester or in the North End, you know, or the East Side or the West Side. You know, whether you were French, Greek, Jewish, you know, we all came together.
Yeah.
We're Manchester people.
Yeah.
And we need to take back our city.
Yeah.
And we're going to take it back with healing and joy and loving and connecting.
If I could just share this,
Yes.
You know, for people that may be looking to, you know, how do I make this change, right?
Yeah.
I think two things. Number one is every day, think about something that you can be thankful for. I don't care how.
We got to close up. So
Yeah.
can you say it quickly?
Thankfulness and finding people you can help.
Yes.
Every day. Find somebody you can help, even if it's a small thing. It will begin to change the trajectory of your life.
Thankfulness, loving, connecting. Thank you,
helping.
Steve. And helping.
Yes.
We're going to chill and heal our city together. We're going to bring back the joy and the chill flow. Till next time.